Welcome to this very first demo of the Handoff Alpha Preview. For those of you who haven't heard about Handoff before, it is a new UI design tool for creating production-ready code components. It works very similar to traditional vector-based tools, with the main difference being that you can directly export to HTML, CSS, and framework wrappers for React and Vue. In this first demo, I would like to take you around Handoff and show you a little bit of how it works and what it feels like to create designs. This is the Handoff Designer. It has three main parts. On the top, we have the toolbar for quick access to the most important tools to create new elements or zoom in and move around the canvas. On the left, you will find a navigator to navigate around your screens, components, and the elements in your design. It also contains the Assets tab, where you can add media like images or manage your global design tokens for common styles like colors, spacing, or typography. On the right, you will find the Inspector. This is where we edit our styles, where we have more granular control over our element's behavior, and where we can export or inspect the code of our design, all in real time. And finally, the major area here is your canvas. And this is where we visually edit our design. We can select elements, we can move them around, we can change their size or spacing, and we can edit its content right on the page. Back to the toolbar. To add an element, we click the drop-down and select the type of element we want to add. And rest assured, for every element you add, for every style you change, Handoff makes sure that it all follows the technical rules of the web. It automatically infers the order and hierarchical position within your design. It even tries to automatically guess the alignment and spacing relative to other elements. Moving over to the right side of the screen, we can go ahead and edit the styles of our new element. For those of you who are still new to web design, the inspector may feel a little bit daunting at first. But when we take a closer look, we can see that the controls are actually pretty straightforward. Let's dive in. We select our new element to edit its styles. On top, change its width, height, and maybe the minimum and maximum size. You can set masking to make the content that sticks out of your box either show, clip, or scroll. Next up is the Spacing tab. We can use it to change the margin, the space around your element, or to change the padding, the space inside your element. Holding Shift will change the spacing for all sides simultaneously. In the Layout tab, you will define how elements will display relative to each other. We can make elements sit next to each other or stack on top of each other. We can define how they should align and how they should be arranged. And for more advanced layouts, we can control how positioning should work, for example to create a fixed bottom toolbar, or a carousel that should snap to the next image when swiping it. Glancing over the rest of the inspector, you will find typography, where you can select fonts, colors, and more advanced properties like character spacing and indentation. Fills for background colors, images, or gradients. Borders, shadows, and finally effects, with controls to make your designs even more interesting. A quick look at the Settings tab. This is where you will find common settings for controlling how elements are rendered. For example, which markup tag to use for improved SEO and accessibility, or a text placeholder for your input field. That's the inspector. Once you're finished and your design is ready for Handoff, you will have the option to publish your design to a Git repo or a staging webpage. But you can also export the design to a zip file. Now in this zip file, you will find your code components along with your media and style sheets. Everything comes neatly organized in folders and the code is linted and formatted. It has starting points like a package.json and an index file, so you can easily integrate design components into a new or existing project. Speaking of Code Expert, there's a dedicated Code tab. In this tab, you can quickly inspect and copy the markup or styling. Something you can, by the way, also do by right-clicking an element and selecting Copy HTML or Copy CSS. I hope this demo gives you a good first overview of what designing and building with Handoff will feel like. There's loads of nice features that we didn't go over today, like reusable components, instance overrides, responsiveness, pseudostates. We're very excited about Handoff and we cannot wait to see what you will be creating. If this very first Handoff Alpha Preview demo has got you as excited as we are, make sure you apply for the Handoff Beta program to get early access later this year. You can do so on our website. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you again in the next Handoff demo video.